In this lecture, I'm going to talk about console I/O strings and the object I/O strings. For the console I/O string, we had a print string, the subclass of the file output string. This is similar to the print writer, and we have the input string similar to the scanner string. Let's look at the example later. Text input and output on the consoles. There are two types of iterative I/O. One involves simple input from the keyboard and the simple output in pure text form. The other involves input from various input devices and the output to a graphical environment on frames and applets. The former is referred to as text interactive I/O, and the latter is known as graphical interactive I/O. Console output input. To perform console output, you can use any of the methods for print string in system.out. However, keyboard input is not directly supported in Java. In order to get input from keyboard, you first use the following statement to read in a string from the keyboard. And these statements are before the scanner class. Here, let's look at this serializable interface. For interface, will be discussed in chapter 13. So right here, if you don't understand it, it's okay. We can come back to look at this later. And serializable interface is for the object input string or output string. Not every object can be written to an output string. Objects that can be so written are said to be serializable. A serializable object is an instance of the java.io.serializable interface, so the object's class must implement serializable. And the serializable interface is a maker interface. Since it has no method, you don't need to add any additional code in your class that implements serializable. Implementing this interface enables Java serialization mechanism to automate the process of storing object and array. To use that, you just need to implement java.io.serializable. So to be short, if you want to print out your object, you just need to have your class implement this serializable interface and nothing else you need to do. That's the only thing you need to know. Now, let's look at the demo program for the console input-output. And I have a program called myInput.java, and this console input-output has been replaced by scanner and the print writer. But it is very important to study this because if the device is not from the keyboard, we have something else like a special device like speech recognition or something. We can still use this console input mechanism to read out a string of text. And myInput.java actually shows how the scanner class works. Let's look at the program. For this program, myInput, it had only one important method called readString. From readString, we actually set up the input string reader from system.in. And then that input string being buffered with such capacity, and then set to a buffered reader BR. Once that's set up, we try to read in a line using that buffer, and that buffered string will be assigned to the string and got returned. So basically, every time we open a input string from the system.in and then return a string. So this method works just like the input.nextLine. And right here, we have readInt, readDouble, readByte, readShort, readLong, readFloat. These are similar to the nextInt, nextDouble, nextByte, something like that. And inside there, we basically process the string that got read in and then convert it to integer or double or different format. The main program to test this myInput, we try to enter 1 byte and using this readByte. And readByte will convert the string from readString, and readString we have explained it. And then similar to that, we read in different data format. Let's run it. Now let's input some byte and short an integer, and then some long, and then some float, and then some double. And those data got printed out. Let's return to the slides. The next demo program, we will work on testObjectOutputString.java and testObjectInputString.java. Let's look at the program. First, let's look at this testObjectOutputString. Because if it doesn't print out anything, the input part cannot read in. So let's look at this program. In this program, basically, we open a file called object.data, and then we set this object output string handler to output. And then this output starts to write jump out by Unicode, and then write 85.5 as double, and write out an object that's the time, that's in date object, and representing the current time to the object.data. And then close the string. Now let's run it. Now that I open the output.data and using the notepad to look at it, as you can see right here, the string jump is over here, and then some data over here, and java.util.date. So apparently it's in binary format, and using notepad is not the right way to read it, but it's okay. I just show you that how the data got stored. Now let's read in the data. First, let's look at this program. Basically, it opened the file object.data and then assign the object input string to input, and then input start to read in a Unicode, and then read in a double, a score, and then read in the current time, and then print out the 3 data. Let's run it. So, jump, and the score, and the date. So apparently, these two programs, test object output string and the text object input string, they can print out the object and read in the object of the date type. And the date object actually implement this serializable interface. And for serializable interface, we have to wait until chapter 13 to discuss the interface. But it's okay. Right now, you just remember that any object that want to be printed out need to implement the serializable interface. Thank you. Bye.